Any questions before we get started?
What's the prompt?
Well, you find that out when I tell it to you.
Oh, okay.
It's okay, Lottie's first.
Yeah, I have to suffer most.
Yeah.
It'll be a softball, right? Right, Brandon?
Kind of. Get to Grandma's. This is episode 283 of Insert Credit. In this show, we've got a panel of experts who are compelled to answer a series of topics for which they have not been prepared within 6 minutes while in constant fear of a terrible buzzer. I'm your host, Brandon Sheffield, for some reason, and when I was 14 years old, I would have named my video game company Necrosoft. That's right. In an unusual twist, we have 3 guests this week, so I'll be introducing all of them. First, we have pink hair enthusiast and Necrosoft Games programmer, Lotte May.
Hello, I'm Lotte May, and when I was, 14, I would have named my video game company... Lotte Makes Stuff. I'm just going to say that because I've been using that for a very long time, and might as well be.
That makes sense. Next up, we have a newcomer to the show, Perfect Garbage creative director, Activision narrative designer, and most importantly, Necrosoft Games producer, Sun M is on the show. Hello.
Hello. If I was 14, like I didn't ever cross that age, when I was 14, I would have named my game company probably still Perfect Garbage, but there would have been an expletive in there, because I was very immature.
Excellent. Last but not least, we welcome back video essayist and marketing director of a little company called Necrosoft Games, Jenna Stoeber is here.
Hi, it's Jenna. That's me. Hi, this is my voice. This is what I sound like. If I had to name a video game company when I was 14, probably would have named it after the thing I was most into at the time, and that would have been Xena. So I think it would have just been like Xena Studios.
Very smart, very smart.
That's the good stuff.
That's good marketing.
Yeah, I think honestly that would still be a pretty good name for a studio.
Yeah.
It's probably old enough now that you could use the name and nobody would legally care.
I can't imagine anyone would have legally cared at any point. That is not the vibe I get from the Xena people.
Plus, Xena is like the good surviving person out of that whole crew because Kevin Sorbo is like a big
He's fucking wild.
Big right-wing doofus. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's right. It's the Oops All Necrosoft episode of Insert Credit. So, let's get into it with question 1. We've got visual novels, text adventures, Phoenix Wright likes. Readable games seem to be making a small resurgence. What other kinds of games, or what kinds of games in general, should we be making with text?
I would love to see some ASCII art games.
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of letterpress in my off time, and one of the interesting things that I get to do when doing letterpress is to think about text not as a symbol for a letter or a sound or a word, but think about like the shape of texts. You know what I mean? And thinking about how shapely they are and how to fill out a space and how to create negative space with text. And I feel like we're ready for like a retro ASCII art game.
Yeah, I agree.
That's a very good answer.
Thank you. Came out swinging.
There's been some, like Dwarf Fortress famously abandoned its ASCII art. So it's time for someone new to take the throne, I think.
What Dwarf Fortress does still have, though, is the brilliant generative text where it just makes up the most absurd stuff. We could, do more of that.
True.
Yeah.
More like generative text.
I had such a simple answer.
Please.
Ooh, well, let's hear it.
I literally was like, well, wouldn't it be nice if narrative games went backwards? They're always linear in one direction. But now I'm sitting here like, wow, that was such a better answer, Jenna.
Wait, are you talking about
Why don't we Benjamin Button? Like, I had such a simple-minded answer.
Oh, wait, can I pitch to you an older reference? Could you do like a Merlin visual novel where you're like telling the story in reverse? Yeah. Merlin, of course, in some tellings, ages in reverse or experiences the world in reverse, and that's why he's so powerful.
Oh, right.
So he gets hotter over time.
Yes, this is a visual. Son, you convinced me. This is it.
Very good. Okay, did we do it? I guess we'll move on. Son, you came up with the idea of a farming murder mystery. Farming game murder mystery. So that's probably the best genre mashup. What's the second best genre mashup?
We're so evil.
Wait, can I ask a clarifying question?
Please.
Do you mean the best game mashup that exists, or that you would like to exist?
That you would like to exist, I would say. Yeah, I'm thinking that probably the best genre mashups don't yet exist, and so we should create them.
It's a tough one.
Ooh.
So we're doing game dev story.
That's right.
Like,
Son, do you want to explain your farming murder mystery first?
Yeah.
Get people percolating?
I mean, the meat of it is that I really wanted plot lines. And so I was like, well, I really like farming, but I don't like that I don't feel doomed while I do it. So it'd be cool if I felt doom during it. And that's kind of where it came from. But I do love genre mashing. That's a hard though. What doesn't exist?
I feel like we're in like a moment where rhythm games, the concept of a rhythm game is getting really spiraled out. Like we had Hi-Fi Rush obviously made a huge splash at the end of last year. And I feel like that is something we're seeing kind of expand and get applied to other genres. So let me pitch you. It's a rhythm game / romance game. And it's a game where you are trying to hook up with somebody, but you're trying to time it so that you can hook up while you're both single.
it makes sense.
And so it's about timing in that sense, but it is a romance game.
I want you to know something is in the works for you. in the grapevine.
I love to hear that. I love being catered to.
In the genre of musical games, in Game Dev Story, these are the combinations which are the worst, apparently, for music games. Music and chess, music and comics, music and horror, music and samurai. I feel like any of those could work.
Yeah.
I would love a rhythm / music game that crossed over with a horror game.
Me too.
What would that?
What is that?
Not what that metal... Ooh, the name of that game that came out. The Metal
Hellsinger? It's not... I don't know if it's totally horror because it's so action...
Like Doom.
So action-oriented. At the very least, it's not survival horror.
A Dead Space rhythm game.
I mean, horror as a genre features music and audio so much more prominently than I think a lot of genres do. Like, all genres have like their musical expectations, but I feel like horror is more likely to leverage that for a specific mood. So I feel like there's something there.
Yeah, how would you deal with the often slow, deliberately slow pacing of a horror game with rhythmicness? Like, maybe you have to keep your heartbeat steady or something like that, and that's the rhythm that you're trying to do.
Yeah, or I mean, you could always when like, for example, a audio track or a music track that you're doing a rhythm game to gets more intense, that could imply something about like how close a monster is or that sort of thing, which I think is an idea that has been deployed in horror games, but not to my knowledge has it ever been like the focus.
Yeah.
So it sounds like we finally figured out a game we can bundle with the Wii Vitality sensor.
Oh yeah. It's finally gonna come in handy. You all know about the horse peripheral that was at one point planned for the Wii?
No.
The horse?
It was like a blow-up seat that you would like bounce on.
And
it had haptics, so it was like a inflatable Wii balance board in a way.
And you sat on
Sounds
it?
very illegal and very cool.
It never existed. It was patented.
Yeah, I mean, conceptually, yeah, you sat on it. Okay.
Yeah. It brings up a lot of questions for me more than anything.
Yeah, I'm kind of perplexed.
That falls under the subheader of peripherals that you have to explain to your parents a lot when you buy. No, it's for a video game.
That's right.
I promise.
It's just for games. Next question. we've had enough games with sports cars, probably. What are some underrepresented vehicles that we should be using in video games?
Hoverboards.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
hoverboard. Good answer.
Yeah.
What about those boats that you see in swamps that have just the giant fan on the back?
Oh,
Yeah.
like in Left 4
That
Dead
feels-
2.
Oh, damn, you're
it
right.
feels like that would be a good arcade game, like a big statement piece.
Yeah.
Don't they call those hovercraft? I think they call them hovercraft, even though
I do
they
not
don't
think they
hovercraft.
call them hovercraft.
No?
I'm going to have to. I don't think that's what those are called.
Heck.
They're like wind boats or something, right?
What if they were hovercrafts?
That would be...
That would also be good.
Pretty good.
That would result in a lot fewer manatee deaths.
I'm just saying airships, but like Sea of Thieves.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
That would be pretty
Sky of Thieves is probably the next sequel they're going to come up with.
Yeah. Very Treasure Planet. I'd play it.
That'd be cool. Yeah, with the classic actual sails,
It's a
right?
hot air balloon plot pirates.
What about those big hamster balls that you get in the middle of and you run?
Monkey Ball?
I guess that is Monkey
Yes,
Ball.
you're right. You're right. They already made that one. And it was good.
I had it on the DS. I remember.
They should make that an arcade game. I would like to get into a ball and just kind of run like a little hamster in an arcade.
Oh, so like a physical, you would actually do it.
Maybe they could Wii extension. That's just another one.
yes. Yes.
Wow.
Strap me in. I'm going to get my miles in today.
Yeah, I guess the issue would be like, there'd have to be an attendant to let you in and out or something.
Nah.
No?
Nah. It'll be fine.
This is my home now.
Yeah. I think more importantly, you'd need some sort of cleaning system, some sort of
Yes.
internal sanitization spray, a drain that it resets to get all the vomit that is sure to be procured.
I love this idea.
Yeah, I think there's a lot. I think this is definitely a moneymaker.
Cool. All right. Well, we're just chewing through my questions here.
Should we be fucking around more in these questions? Should we be less?
It's up to you. It's fine. We can be fast. Every once in a while that happens. You're all just more efficient than our usual panelists.
I'll start disagreeing more.
It's the Necrosoft
no,
power.
You're
Yeah.
wrong. See?
just such a efficient team. I'll fight you right here, Jenna.
Question 4. There's been genre-bending spins on games like volleyball, frisbee, and volleyball over the years. Whoa, the first thing I said was the same thing as the last thing I said, but I meant dodgeball the
I
first
thought that was
time.
intentional.
Okay, I thought you were gonna hyper gun sport.
Yeah, it seemed like it was building to something.
Yeah.
But the fans crave more. Please design a new 4-player fantasy sports game.
We're just doing work now.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Why are you making us do pitches for Necrosoft games secretly in this podcast?
You figured out the theme. The theme has indeed been the first 5 questions are all related to Necrosoft games that have released.
Hey.
Well, I have an answer, and I
Yeah?
really think Square Enix needs to settle down, make the Blitzball game.
Oh.
Just do it. Stop being a coward. Your games don't have to be that serious. Just be this Blitzball game.
For real.
This is hard because that's a good answer, but I did say I was going to disagree with you. So terrible
How dare
answer. So too obvious. Come on.
The Blitzball, but good.
It's a fantasy sport.
That's true.
It is a literal fantasy sport.
And by the way, if I had the time to make an AMV, the number one AMV that I want to make is a mashup of the Final Fantasy X-2, is it, intro that has where the song Emotion plays or whatever.
Yeah.
But I want this song, and I would cut it nicely, to be Carly Rae Jepsen's This Emotion or whatever it's called. I don't know if you know that song, but it fits
You are so right.
so almost perfectly with the intro as it is. It's like the AMV that I've been waiting to make for 20 years, and I got to do it someday. Anyways,
Time to learn video editing.
fantasy sports. Blitzball is a good answer, though.
Yeah, it's so strong. It's such a strong foray. I'm trying to imagine, like, what is some fantasy shit that you could sportsify?
Starting from the fantasy angle. That's a good way to go.
Yeah. I mean, because sports is sports. You can make any sport fantasy, but how do you make a fantasy a sport?
I mean, being a knight was kind of like a sport, right?
Jousting.
Yeah, like a joust.
A jousting.
That's pretty good. What if it's like that sequence in Sword in the Stone where, was it Merlin? I don't know why I'm on a Merlin kick today.
I was like, very Arthurian legend of you today.
Merlin and Morgana are doing that back and forth where she's like, I'm a dragon. And he's like, well, I'm a virus. And like, they're each trying to one-up each other, y'all know?
Didn't they do that in Sandman as well?
They absolutely 100% do that in Sandman. I've been rereading Sandman recently, and they absolutely do that. Sandman does that with Lucifer in Hell.
Yeah.
I feel like something like that in like the Nintendo DS style, where it has pre-programmed just like 100 million words, and you can change into them and figured out all of the. It's like Pokemon typing, but just that. No other finessing.
Like Scribblenauts, sort of?
Yes, it's exactly. Scribblenauts, the objects, but then Pokemon typing. So you're like, I turn into a dishwasher, and the game is like, well, I know what is strong and weak. Dishes are weak to dishwashers, obviously. And dishwashers are weak to earthquakes and stuff like that.
Amazing.
Yeah, they're
Water
weak
pressure.
to leaky pipes. I don't know, is that a thing?
Yeah, and so it has
Calcium.
so thoroughly, calcium buildup,
Calcium.
hard water. But it's for 100 billion objects. And so it's just a game of trying to figure that out.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I like we're keeping the scope reasonable. Just 100 million.
Just 100 million. But that's all it is. This is combining it. It's text only. They're talking about a text game. There's no graphics. It is just
ASCII.
You're right. What is the value of writing anyway, you know?
just a fucking massive spreadsheet.
We could just...
No artists in here this time, visual artists anyway, so I think we're safe to say that art is the worst part of video games.
Wow, who said that?
It was me.
Okay.
It was me. Great. Well, I think we've answered that one as well. So let's move on to question 5, which we've almost started talking about already. People seem to be putting relationship building into all sorts of games these days. What makes these systems compelling, and how can we make them even more compelling?
Yes! Every game should have a romance.
So obviously we need a game where you can date Merlin, right? That's where we've been heading
Fucking
towards.
yeah!
Yeah.
Do not give Jenna more fuel.
Yes, no, give me the fuel. Because you have to romance him when he's an old man, so it's all about the mental and emotional thing, but then he gets hotter and hotter.
You really want the Benjamin Button. You're
fucking score.
And then he becomes an infant, and then he becomes nothing.
Well, okay, hold on.
He probably loops back around at some point. Could we call it like Merlink? Because
Why?
You're trying to link with Merlin. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a name for this Merlin.
It's called
hookup
Merlin
game.
Fucker 2000.
MF2K.
Yeah.
Fuck me up, Merlin.
Y'all got that 2K? But we're talking about this. How do we make relationship building even more compelling than it already is? Or do we need to?
I mean, if you get to make a wizard blush.
From like a gameplay angle?
Yeah, I mean, when I think about relationship building in these games, there's a fantasy element, like you can, for example, you can date anybody. And that's not true in real life because everybody has their preferences and they're all not necessarily going to like you. So that can be cool and fulfilling, but it can also be unrealistic in potentially weird ways.
I was going to say, I will talk something about Love Shore, ironically enough.
Yeah.
When I set up to make Love Shore, we really wanted to not have a player character that you can build. Rather, these characters are established to play, which is a very rough choice with otome and visual novel games.
Yeah.
And the reason I did it is that no matter how you play Sam, the main character, he will always fall in love, even if the other character doesn't like him. So it's always sad when you're in his route. But I just thought that was so much more compelling than like what you're building up as like everybody falls with each other automatically just because you said it that way. So I'm a big fan of that. I like when things don't work out. Things are painful.
I mean, I was going to say, I think it would be interesting because I think you're making a good point, Brandon, which is that you go into these worlds and regardless of who you play as a character, everyone's going to want to romance you.
Yeah.
And that's weird. That's a weird vibe. But I mean, I guess that's part of the like fantasy of a game, right? You can become super powerful and also everybody wants to date you. That's
so more like a massive HR complaint.
But I was thinking about like, what if you made a character and the like choices you make for your personality really early on like naturally push some people away or draw some people near you. And then I was like, well, that would be interesting, but actually that does exist. And I started thinking about the time I played Dragon Age with a male character for the expressed purpose of dating Morrigan, because Morrigan doesn't date women in that game, and that's dumb.
I'm so confused about that. That and Cassandra, I'm like, how are they not into women? I have a question.
I mean, I'm fucking saying it's unconceivable to me. So I did a playthrough of that so I could romance Morgan as a dude. Which is not normally how I play games. I like playing femme characters in games, but I begrudgingly did it because the game forced me, and that didn't feel great. So I take back everything I posited about having hard limits to who you can romance like that.
Yeah, that's kind of my view on it as well. I wound up playing through Dragon Age as a male character, even though I also usually use a female character, because that allowed me to have both a male and female romance, because there was that one elf who was bi or whatever.
Severin! It's the only character I liked.
But yeah, a friend of mine was feeling like there are positives to letting you date everyone, and then negatives because it could give you an unrealistic expectation that like I as a man can date any man that I see.
Aw.
And
I think those presumptions pre-exist video games in our culture.
Yeah.
So what if we make a game where nobody will date you?
Wait, everybody is hypothetically romanceable, but all of them turn you down?
Yeah, it's only failure routes.
They only date each other, not you, in their friend circle.
Exactly.
Okay, well, no. Okay, but a matchmaking game, that would be very fun.
It would be. Yeah, I'd be into it, trying to put the people to get, like, basically you're trying to ship everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a good idea. Uh-oh. We better not tell more people about that.
No, I was going to say, there's this anime called Kiss Him, Not Me, and it's literally about setup of, like, a girl who just wants all these guys to date each other rather than date her.
Of course.
Very cute comedy.
That's a different kind of vibe than we're going for.
Hey, man. That's where I am all the time.
Do you all know the game that was with we ran out of time, but I just want to ask this question. It was a dating sim, Japanese dating sim, but if you went on this one route and romanced this one character, she was like, I'll kill you if you date anybody else. She was like the yandere type. And then if you go back and date a different character on a different save file, she appears and kills you.
Oh my god.
That's excellent.
That's great.
It is great. I've been thinking about that ever since I heard about it, but I don't remember what it's called.
Well,
okay.
It's my game now. Thanks for that.
Okay, with that, we're going to take a short break, after which we will be back, and we'll be talking to you some more about other things. See you soon. Okay, break happens. Does anybody need to get water, use the bathroom or anything?
Good.
I'm good.
We all good? Mm-hmm. Okay, then I will return from the break. And we're back. It is now time to head into the dirt bag, which is where folks can send in their questions for our esteemed panel. This is something that you too can do if you subscribe to patreon.com/insertcredit. Just in case that's something you'd like to do, you can go ahead and do that. This week's question comes from Alex Jaffe, who asks, if Necrosoft stuck to its original vision of being a game studio that only hires dead people, who would be on the payroll?
What did you say?
Was that...
Say that again? What did you say?
Was that ever the plan?
No, it never was. It's a joke that he's making. If Necrosoft stuck to its original vision of being a game studio that only hires dead people, who would be on the payroll? So that means, like, we could get, I don't know, Einstein, or we could get...
To do our physics code.
Einstein would be terrible at making games. Come on.
We could get Merlin.
Yes.
Well, I don't think he's dead, because I don't think he's real, so...
Yeah. That's too bad.
We can interpret these questions however we want, and, like, fictional characters just are dead people, because they never existed. They might as well be dead, so we might as well have Merlin.
Okay.
I'm not going to hire Merlin to make Merlin Fucker 2000.
Oh, that's true.
That feels like...
That's a real HR violation.
It feels really inappropriate.
What if it's an FMV game?
Oh my.
And he plays himself? I I mean, it would take like 100 years to film it all, though, right? Because we'd have to wait for him to reverse age.
Can he like advance and regress time though?
No, I don't
Maybe
think
he can
so.
make it take shorter. Okay.
Surely he can respawn however he wants.
There's a lot to unpack here.
I previously did have a question that I cut, which was to design a good FMV game. It's funny that it came up.
Oh, God.
I think if we were gonna do like a relationship heavy game, can I pitch you Jane Austen?
Yeah.
Seen a lot of Jane Austen alike kind of games.
Surely she's fictional.
What?
She's from real life, yeah, but she'd be great. Let's get her on here.
Yeah.
If we want drama, I really think we should just get Louis XIV.
Ooh.
Make waves.
Jeez.
At Necrosoft Studios. We might be canceled pretty fast, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Louis XIV might take over the operation in ways that we might not enjoy. But
that's what guillotines are for.
maybe as an external contractor that we can denounce later.
Yeah.
Lotte, who's your draft?
See, this requires knowing things, and I'm not very good at that.
You know about stuff.
Knowing the name of a single dead person?
Yeah, when you put it like that, it's very difficult.
Just start guessing actors you think could be dead.
Oh, God. Do we need another actor because it's an FMV game?
Maybe. Just
Yeah.
Google dead actors and just...
No.
Okay, I'm gonna Google dead actors. Whoever comes up
Jeez.
first. James Dean, I don't know who that is.
Oh, wow. That's a good choice.
That's
Yeah, he is dead.
I
He is
gotta
dead.
say it's probably only possible to not know who James Dean is if you are not from America.
Well, I've got that down.
It's actually most
Cool.
of the world, so it's actually a pretty good claim to not know James Dean.
Yeah, no, I'm saying if you're from America, I think it's hard to not know. But if you're outside of America, I think it's very easy to not. Right?
So would this guy do well in our FMV game about
Yeah.
fucking
Oh,
Merlin?
he would.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, you would.
He'd do great. He'd do great in it. He'd roll his cigarette up into his sleeve. Merlin would light it on fire.
We're gonna have a bad ESRB rating.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. The F word's in the title. We've lost. That's day one.
It's true.
Yeah.
We're gonna be AO, adults only, I guess.
Yeah. And Jay, I mean, he's such like a proto fuck boy, so I
It's
don't think
true.
we're not going to escape that.
Jane Austen's writing it.
Jane Austen's right. You know, I think people would pay for this.
I can't wait to introduce Jane Austen to the concept of a fuck boy.
She's gonna be like, we have a different word for that. I don't know what it'll be, but it'll be very flowery. A gentleman of no consequence. Or
A
something.
rambler, of course.
Yeah, a rambler. I like it. Question 7. Let's talk about YouTube and other social media algorithms. This is a Jenna question, of course.
Yeah, it is.
Um, we do have a lot of content creators and such in the audience. How can they, as of April 2023, best present their work to the guided hand of the algorithm?
Have you considered being popular first?
That's a good
Yeah, that
idea.
helps.
That does help.
Yeah, if you can just latch on to a much larger media consortium and then after several years get laid off and then just start your own channel, that seems to be working okay for me.
I love the BuzzFeed method.
It's a good path. Tim did it also, so it's definitely
Yeah.
proved.
Established. I don't know. You can go, there's a lot of ways to grab low-hanging fruit on YouTube. You can always just look at a chart of whatever the most popular game or movie is and then go ahead and make a video about how shit it is or how great it is. People love that. I mean, there's lots of ways to lap at the well, I don't want to say teat, but I'm going to say teat. To laugh at the teat of the algorithm. But I don't know that you should. I think you should be proud of your work first and then...
Yeah. How do you do it while being true to yourself? So I really liked your video that you did that when I saw it was called "This Video is Only 9 minutes long" or something similar to that, which was, in fact, an hour long, but the content was 9 minutes, and it was because you were trying to experiment and prove a point and also generate minutes viewed for YouTube. And I thought it was a smart way of not gaming the algorithm, but addressing the algorithm while remaining true to your brand. Because for people who have not seen this video, and you should go check it out, it's about how algorithm is really just guided by people, and what the algorithm, in quotes, has decided right now is that long videos are good because you can put a lot of advertisements in them, and once you get 20 seconds into a video as a viewer, you're more likely to watch the whole thing. And so Jenna was experimenting with that and talking about it, and then left this is not spoilers, I hope, but left the camera on after 9 minutes for the remainder of an hour, and it actually did remarkably well and generated a bunch of minutes and all of that stuff. So I mean, that's a very specific example, but I thought it was really neat. So,
yeah, I mean, here's my real answer is that you just have to ask your audience. I think that's something that people are weird about doing sometimes, but like we know the algorithm responds in certain ways. We know all algorithms respond in certain ways to certain viewer activity or user activity, and so. Keeping abreast of what those things are for your specific platform is really important, because those are different between Twitter and Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. Like they all have different algorithms and they're all rewarding different things. But figuring out what that is for your platform is number one. And number two is just like tell your audience and ask them to do it. Like ask them to say, hey, leave a comment. Hey, like this video. Hey, subscribe. And I know that's like kind of a joke answer, because the hey guys, like and subscribe is like a meme, but like it's a meme for a reason. Because that's like how you get the algorithm to notice you. If a lot of people are liking and commenting and subscribing to your content, the algorithm is more likely to boost you. And so like those are things that you can do that cost you emotionally very little, especially if you can incorporate them in interesting ways into the content that you're making. So I think you just can't be shy about doing that kind of thing. You just gotta go for it.
That also ties in with the boring real truth that algorithms don't actually exist in the way that we think they do. None of these decisions are really computer decisions. They are business decisions made by these platform holders, right?
Exactly.
So, like, the reason why long videos work, like you just said, is because there's lots of advertising spots. The reasons why saying, like and subscribe and please leave a comment and trying to figure out some, fun, twee way to make people leave comments is that directly drives engagement, which is driving a stat, which, makes the computer think that, this is good content, but it's not. It's the business decision that YouTube made or that TikTok's made or whoever has made, right? So you kind of have to, understand what the current business objectives of these nefarious multinational billion-dollar companies are and try and wedge your content into that. And it's kind of a gross way to think about it, but, we live in capitalism, unfortunately. It's all like that.
I think that the same philosophy actually comes in from trailer making, with the need to have call to action at the end. That's like a rule number one when making trailers, is you have to end it on a call to action in some way, whether it means wishlist the game on Steam, or find out who you really are coming out this date. And I feel like we've learned to integrate that a lot in marketing and not a lot in developing personal content. And I think that whether we think that's great or not to use that mentality in personal content, it's just an interesting conversation. I'm always fascinated by it.
And that's time. As a little aside, though, I don't know if this was real, but did you all hear about that kid that was saying like and subscribe to his grandma because he thought that he'd watched so much YouTube? He was like 3 or 4 that he was like, that's how you say goodbye to people.
No,
that does sound real and made up.
Yeah, it sounds like both.
I think it's fine. I don't know. I don't think that's a big deal.
Could be worse. Question 8. You may have heard people refer to themselves as Sega kids or Nintendo kids or even Xbox kids. How will today's youth silo themselves in the future? Because we don't really have... The console wars are kind of over and PC won. So
you have Fortnite kids and Minecraft kids.
Yeah, I was wondering.
I think even that's too outdated.
Capital G gamer.
I mean, is it not going to be social media?
It might.
I guess Vine wasn't long enough for there to be Vine kids, but are there not going to be TikTok kids? Is the generation above us not Facebook kids? Are we not Twitter kids?
Yeah. That might chop them into generations, but they might. I'm curious about, because a Sega kid versus a Nintendo kid, a couple of 35-year-olds can be one or the other. do we have those kinds of, like, it'd be great if, better if we don't have those divides.
I mean, I think they exist, and I think they exist in the way that we think about company conglomerates absorbing each other right now, right? So, like, in the games industry, we have these huge moves of companies kind of swallowing each other a bit, and so I feel like if we're, like, staying in the paradigm of, like, games, we're gonna have indie games versus Devolver Digital games, which are still indie, but, you know, like, they have a theme versus, like, I only play, you know, ABK games, things like that. I could imagine, like, companies which are working so hard to, like, brand themselves as, like, a thing that you can engage with as a person would become the next instead of consoles. Do you play WoW or do you play Final Fantasy 14?
I think the MMO kind of thing might do it. It's different because the reason people were Sega kids or Nintendo kids is because their family was able to afford to buy them one console, and then they had to stick with it. And I guess we don't really have exactly that kind of thing.
So I think people will be, like, stuck on whichever social game platform. Like, are you on Fortnite or are you on Roblox?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Especially as now Fortnite is becoming more Roblox-y.
You're winning me over. I think you're right. I think it's going to be like, what Battle Royale system were you on?
Yeah.
Where have you invested your V-Bucks?
Honestly, yeah. Who do you what game do you chat on Discord with your friends the longest? You know?
Question 9. Recently, at a party, I overheard someone trying to remember the name of some sci-fi movie with Rutger Hauer in it, and I was like, my time has finally come. This is it. This is the question that I've accidentally built my whole life around answering. Because if you're wondering about crappy 90s movies, I'm so ready to talk about it. So my question to you is, what is a question that you all individually have accidentally built your whole life around answering?
How people die in isekai novels.
Yeah, there we go.
That's me. I love that trash. Delicious, delicious garbage.
If someone were to be like, I'm trying to remember this one isekai novel, and it has this thing in it, is that the kind of conversation you would be ready to slide right into?
Yeah, I can do that. Like, yeah, I keep meticulous notes on this.
Very good.
Someone has to write the isekai death report, and that is unfortunately me.
Is there an aspect of accidental building in this? Like, it's a thing that you snap to and suddenly realize you're an expert in such a thing?
Kind of like that, yeah. I mean, it doesn't have to be accidental. It could be intentional. Like, I collect model trains, and so it could be that as well. Just a particular curious thing where if it came up, you would be like, oh, it's my time to shine.
This is so hard because I'm not original. Like, I know what it is, but I'm just like, I don't think that's, like, cool.
That's okay. It doesn't have to be cool.
I want it to be cool. I'm like,
mine definitely was not cool, so...
I thought yours was cool. I was like,
cool,
I have to ask
Lotte.
you some questions, Lotte. Because I love Korean webtoons, and I'm like, Lotte would know. You can ask these guy questions. But for me, it would probably be like the genre of cyberpunk. I like read a lot. I think I took like a whole like minor in review in college about that genre. So I feel like I've gotten really entrenched in it, and but I don't think it's cool because I think there's too many of us. We could do with less.
I think there are a lot of people that like the genre, but I don't think there are a lot of people that are well versed in it. I think there's a lot of people that read one William Gibson novel and watched Blade Runner, and they're like, yeah, I like cyberpunk, and that's as deep as it went. So I'd say that's something.
Also medieval horror. 2 spectrums.
Ooh.
Talk more about that. What's that?
Expand on that,
Yeah, tell us about medieval horror.
There's just lots of really fun, like, folklore stories specifically based around, like, the horrors of being in the medieval era and how we tell stories from that. I don't know, my friend Emmett and I are both trying to write medieval-based horror novels right now, and you can just see us weeping as we're trying to figure out the tone. But it's just really, really cool, like how they talk about supernatural elements back in the day, and this weird descendants from kings to paganism, or like from paganism to kings, and that transitional state. I don't know, there's just lots of weird, really weird medieval horror. There could be more games about medieval horror.
It's definitely a neat period to get into that kind of stuff because knowledge was less available to the common person, and so a lot more was mysterious. So that gives rise to all kinds of potential superstitions, which is kind of neat.
Super cool. Next Necrosoft game.
Okay.
Medieval horror.
We're making a lot of them here. Right after Merlin Enjoyer 2000.
Surely that could tie into medieval horror.
I suppose it could. That could be
if anything,
DLC.
it's the same game.
Be so careful because you're seconds away from recreating the Green Knight. Oh, be careful. You're so
my
close.
My favorite film.
I didn't like that movie at all.
Oh, man.
I'll forgive you for now, Brendan.
We can talk about that later. Jenna, what's yours?
Eras of David Bowie music.
Oh, there you go.
Ooh.
No follow-up questions, please.
Okay.
Nobody knows me. Like, I don't know anything. Major Tom?
Yeah, that's one of them.
I have right next to me here a VHS tape that has episodes of that TV show that he was on. That was like The Hunger.
The horny vampire one? Yeah,
the horny
Hunger.
vampire one.
Whoa, what?
Oh, son. Oh, son.
See?
Yeah, it's called The Hunger. He's in it. Susan Sarandon's in it, too.
Insane.
Yeah. I don't know what to say about it other than you should probably just watch it.
Yeah, he's from space.
You've just proved that you have party knowledge on this subject.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, you just said it so casually.
You just went and demonstrated it like that. Like, perfect.
So how does David Bowie die in this isekai?
I doubt he would get crushed by a truck. He seems like he would survive that.
Yeah, he'd make it through. Oh, we could put David Bowie on our dev team, by the way.
I would not want to capitalize David Bowie's reanimation time with such a thing. He needs to be out there doing what he loves, which is making music.
It's fair enough.
But it could be a rhythm game.
It's true.
Yeah, it's
About
true.
Merlin.
Written by Jane Austen.
That's right.
Composed by David Bowie.
Okay, question 10. What part of your job would you be totally fine with AI taking away from you?
Taxes.
Yes. If AI could do my dang taxes.
It's a pretty good one.
That's a hot one.
I just paid mine. Oh my god. Please, get it off my plate.
Yeah, I feel like there's inevitably a lot of like data entry stuff, tracking stuff. I don't think AI is really
Schedule C's.
Yeah, is really prepared to handle that kind of thing, which is really obnoxious.
No, I don't trust it.
I don't trust the computer to do anything, which is why having to do all of our work on the computer sucks so much.
Yeah, heck the computer.
If we could make video games without them, that would be a massive improvement.
Whoa.
There's this thing called TTRPGs.
Hey!
Yeah, I know about those.
We should just make a bunch of those now.
They were popular for a little while, and I guess they're still popular right now. The end.
Yeah. They went through a really cool phase.
If AI were good, can you hear my dogs? They're going. If AI were actually good enough, I would be cool with AI taking away business development and talking to all the business people instead of me doing it.
What if the business people had AI themselves, and it was just
a
feedback loop?
Just a feedback loop, and eventually someone decides. And we then if we get money or don't, we blame it on the algorithm.
So we just woke up one day and there's just a message in our Slack saying, here's the money for the project that we were talking about, and no one has any idea of what has been negotiated.
Right. We don't know we have to find out what the project is later afterward, and we don't even know what publisher we've signed with. And everybody finds that out after it's all been resolved.
Even the publisher, they have no idea.
Yeah, they have no idea.
Because they have AI doing the same thing as well. Great, cool.
And the marketing plan is already all designed, and it's super bizarre. And...
$500,000 game, full 3D.
Yeah.
This is how Merlin fucker gets greenlit.
That's right.
There's no other way.
Thanks to the algorithm.
Yeah. They promise real-time cutscenes.
Oh, no.
It is now time for the lightning round. This week, we're doing name design, which I honestly can't remember if this is how it usually goes, but at least this time, we're going to design games based on the names of video game company names.
What? Wait, so take that one more time. We're going to design...
I'm going to tell you the name of a video game company, and you're going to design a game that would be called that.
Okay.
Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. We will start with Insomniac. So you're designing the game that would be called Insomniac.
It would be a match-free puzzle you play to fall asleep when you can't.
Oh, I like that.
It's nicer than what I was thinking.
I was going to say like a Don't Starve style game, but instead of worrying about hunger, it's about sleep deprivation.
Yeah, heck.
That's a more creepy way to...
It's a little more stressful, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, next. Arc System Works.
Oh god, we have to figure out what any of those words mean in that order.
Noah is building an arc, and he's trying to design a game while he's building this arc simultaneously. So he's building these systems, and nothing seems to work.
You're built like a city builder inside the arc. You're building all the systems.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Or like a Rube Goldberg machine to get all the 2x2 animals in.
Cute.
Something.
Okay, next. Vicarious Visions.
I just can't help but feel like that would be a weird, horny game. Vicarious Visions, right?
Sure.
Some messed up visual novel.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
buy that. Messed up visual novel with weird horniness.
Yeah.
Micro Cabin.
Aw.
Yeah.
I mean, it's clearly mobile game.
You're Godzilla, and you're crushing these cabins.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Because they're micro to you, and you're real big.
Okay. Okay, I kind of like that, yeah.
Okay.
I was like, no cute, only destruction.
Okay, Digital Eclipse.
It's like one of those solar system simulator games. A very, very boring one.
Excellent.
Yes,
It only simulates eclipses and nothing else. So you can't even do the thing where you like spawn a black hole over Earth and watch it collapse, because it just does eclipses.
It's pretty good.
Speaking of space being boring, Frontier Developments.
It's about building ski resorts on people's ears.
Their front
Front
ears?
ear!
The front
Oh,
ear,
that was
back
so
ear.
clever. That was so clever, Lotte. You win this one. That was good.
Okay, next we got Toys for Bob,
Hmm.
which I don't think exists
A
anymore.
horror game.
Hmm.
It's gotta be a horror game. And it's
Oh,
about
yeah.
the toys Bob's used to get his revenge on the mob.
Okay, like Toy Story 1 vibe.
Oh, so it's like a Puppet Master or something.
Sure.
Although the Puppet Master puppets, it's a different theme because those puppets are, they're Nazis. Did you know that in the Puppet Master series, those puppets are Nazi puppets?
Yes.
Learning some trivia
Yes,
today.
Brandon, I did know that.
Another trivia for Jenna.
I should have assumed that Jenna would know that, of course.
The last Puppet Master movie that came out was called the Third Reich, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, probably.
I have no knowledge on what even the Puppet Masters are, man.
I only watched
I'm
the
like
first two.
Sesame Street.
Okay, next. Tomcat System.
It's a game about, I don't know, I give up.
Tom from Tom and Jerry.
yeah, building systems? I don't know. Why are there so many systems?
Yeah, I guess we have had two systems in here.
Too many.
Tomcat System could also be like the plane, the Tomcat, and you have to operate it. I think there's a plane called a
Also,
Tomcat.
a really boring flight sim.
Yeah, let's make them all boring if we can.
Those are the best kind of games.
I'm realizing now that this might sound a little similar to another one, but Vicious Cycle.
You turn
It's
into
a-
a werewolf, and then you stop turning into a werewolf non-stop for like hours. It's just the transformation part, and it's so vicious and cyclical.
What's the game? What's the game part of that?
game part?
You have to go through your day-to-day life as it happens.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So it's like Octodad, except you're constantly turning into a werewolf and then turning back into a human.
Yeah. You gotta really
Nice.
coordinate your schedule.
Okay.
We accidentally made a good one.
Yeah. And weirdly, this also feels related to the last answer, Naughty Dog.
It's the sequel.
There you go. Okay, we did it. That's it. Now it's time for recommendations and promoting your own stuff and whatever you want to talk about. I will go first, and I will say, don't forget to check whether something is available new before you buy it, if you like that product. I just bought the whole Dorohedoro manga series, all 23 volumes, because I really liked that series and I wanted it. I looked up individual copies and I was like, this is too expensive for me to buy. And so I bought it used on eBay. But then I saw that if you bought the whole thing new, it was only $10 more. And then I felt really bad because I didn't give Q Hayashida my money. I gave it to some random person on eBay. So anyway, don't forget to check if something's available new at a reasonable price so that you can actually give the people responsible the money and then you don't have big regrets like me. Okay, now everybody else can promote your individual things and your cool things that you do. Who's got stuff?
I help make games at Necrosoft. You should check those out. They're pretty cool.
Nice, you get a raise.
Yeah.
Wow, that's all it takes.
Everyone should go to Steam and check out the Gun Duology, which is Hyper Gun Sport and Gunhouse, and then they should come and tell me that it's a really good joke name and that I did a good job coming up with that name.
It is a good name.
Because it is a good name, and I take credit for that name.
Yeah, you'd been sitting on that idea for some time.
Yeah, because I'm a fucking dweeb. My actual recommendation is to find your best friend and once every single week watch a single episode of the original series of Gundam with them, just once a week. Because there's like a whole entire year's worth. And it's just a really good way to, like, keep track of, how the year's going. Watch an episode of Gundam with your friend. Yeah, I've been doing that this year, and it's just been, like, such a good time.
That's lovely.
Yeah, I just recommended that.
Son?
Yeah, I too will recommend Necrosoft. You should witness Demon School, which is going to be so mind-blowing. It'll change your life.
Okay, we don't all need
TM.
to try to get raises. Nobody's
TM,
getting
TM.
raises.
TM. Can I have more money? Which is great. I'll recommend my own studio too, Perfect Garbage. We make games that we are kind of trashy, but we like them, and that's all that matters to me.
That rules.
I think so too.
For example,
Love Shore is coming out in a few weeks. There's that.
That's
which
right.
Is real trashy and fun. And
you could wishlist that.
You can. Oh my god, I'm so bad at this call to action stuff. Yeah, you could do that too. You won't believe it.
Wishlist Love Show.
Yeah. You'll have a great time. And to recommend, similar to Lotte, I actually also do something similar. I have a thing called Saturdays for the Boys, in which I watch a 90s anime with a friend of mine every Saturday. We went through usually it's the 90s. When it's something new, we watch something new. And our rule is that even if it's bad, we have something to talk about. So we watch it together. We're currently working through Yu Yu Hakusho again, which has been very fun.
That's a fun one.
It's a classic, except that one transphobic episode. And then I'm just like, I'm sorry for like 20 minutes.
Yep.
I say I'm sorry. And then I keep going.
It's hard with those 90s animes and also the current ones. And the transphobia and the homophobia and the I'm watching Blue Seed right now, and there's just so much focus on a 15-year-old girl's underwear and who wants to date her that is an adult. And it's really...
That does happen sometimes.
Yeah, it's gross. There's cool stuff in that show, but if they just cut all of that out, it would be so much better.
Yeah, man. Nothing worse than making someone watch an anime who doesn't like to watch anime, and then you have to say, I'm sorry for a lot of it. But it's been fun. We've been cracking up. But yeah, I recommend doing that.
It's good
Watch
stuff.
something with your bro. Lotte was so right.
Jenna, what do you got?
And I'm Jenna. You can find me. I stream on Twitch at @the_Jenna. You can find, I got video essay channels out the wazoo on YouTube. I have a Patreon. I'm just everywhere on the internet. I'm usually the Jenna or the_Jenna. You'll be able to tell really quickly which one is me when you search. Yes, you can find me anywhere. My recommendation is to fuck the algorithm. Feed it every once in a while, but for the most part, just ignore it. It's not going to make you happy, and chasing algorithmic trends is not going to get you an audience. Making stuff that you believe in and that you love is going to be what gets you an audience.
100%. That's pretty much what this show is all about as well, so I 100% agree. And with that in mind, I recommend you review us on any platform that you can find it on. Tell your dang friends about the show. Our listenership has been increasing lately, and it seems to be mostly due to word of mouth, so please keep that going so we can become a bigger podcast than Retronauts, my sworn rival. I just have to defeat Retronauts. No, they're fine. I just want to defeat them, is all. You can also search for Insert Credit on YouTube, and you should subscribe to the Patreon at patreon.com/insertcredit if you like. And also, Alex Jaffe is taking advertisement requests if you want to put an ad on the show at show@insertcredit.com. And then once we do have ads, people on the Patreon will not hear those ads. So that's what's going to happen with that. I'm Brandon Sheffield. Oh yeah, this is the part where we all say our names in order. Okay, so I'm Brandon Sheffield.
I'm Lotte May.
I'm Sun M.
I'm Jenna Stoeber.
And that's it.
And you're watching Disney Channel.
That's right. That's all. Bye forever. I was going to ask, what's the Midwest?
Oh, no.
But maybe that's too big of a question.
I actually have to unfortunately boogie because I
See?
have another meeting. But
Perfect.
Have you played Norco? No.
That's fine. In fact, that's the funniest answer possible.